Good morning. I want to welcome you all to Victory Fellowship this morning. We're going to do some worship. We're going to just give everything to God this morning. I pray that where you're at right now, that you're able to stop what you're doing, that you're able to really focus and not listen to us. Don't just listen to this morning, because there's not going to be a whole lot to listen to. But if you engage God and you want to worship God this morning, if you go after God and chase Him, and you want to worship Him this morning, it doesn't matter what we do. So wherever you're at, whenever you're listening to this, it may be today, it may be tomorrow, it may be 2 years from now. It doesn't matter. What matters is your heart and what you want to do with God, where you want to be with God right now. And in this time that is so difficult and so strange, and as we're sitting here in this room of empty people, and we miss all you guys, we want you to be here. It's not always about this, it's about our worship to God. So we can still be a church, we can still be together. And I just pray wherever you're at right now, just engage God. Don't listen to the music, don't listen to the notes. Listen to the Father, listen to the Spirit, listen to what He's telling you through these words, and worship Him through what you're saying. If you need the words, dig them up, pause it, find the words. If you don't need the words, worship with whatever God puts in your heart. And just join with us this morning as we engage and go before the throne room. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much, God. We thank you so much for the opportunity. God, the opportunity to worship you. No quarantine, no sickness, no disease, no death, no life, nothing, God. Nothing can separate us from your love. Nothing can separate us from your heart. Nothing can separate us from our opportunity to worship you. Whether we're in the most free land in the world or we're in prison somewhere, God, we can worship you. And I pray that we do that this morning, no matter where our heart's at right now, no matter where we're at right now, whether we're depressed, whether we're sad, whether we're excited, no matter what's going on in our hearts this morning, God, this afternoon, whenever we're worshiping you, God, that doesn't matter, God. I pray that we stop what we're doing, God. Lord, I pray that we find you within us. You've placed your Holy Spirit inside of us, God. And I pray that we just turn our hearts to you. And we don't worry about the surroundings, but we worry about you. And not worry, but we just engage in you. And we fill ourselves with you and who you are, God. Lord, we're going to sing about graves being turned into gardens, God. Those things that we think are dead and gone and useless, those things that have brought us sadness and sickness and different things, God, you can turn into this most beautiful, wonderful garden, this most beautiful thing. God, I pray that we do that this morning, God. I pray that we take the grave that we have right now and we give it over to you, God, and let you plant this garden. And God, it may not immediately spring up because a garden takes time sometimes. But God, we begin to see life. We begin to see who you are. We begin to feel you in everything. We begin to see you in the smallest details and everything. God, every blade of grass, we see how wonderful and amazingly that thing was made because you made it. God, you made us. You made us to love you. You made us to worship you, God. I pray that we do that right now. Let us worship you. And in spirit and in truth and who we are in wholeness, God, let us worship you in pure worship this morning, God. We love you in Jesus' name. Well, I searched the world. It couldn't fill me. A man's empty praise, treasure that fades, are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together, and every desire is now satisfied. Oh, there's nothing better than you. morning dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing is better than you. Still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. Your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me. By now they fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won. You have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. It's still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never failed me yet. I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass.
My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. Your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. Your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me yet. You move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. 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 The promise still stands. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. Your faithfulness. Still in your hands. This is my confidence. Sing that again. serves knows only how to triumph. My God will never fail. My God will never fail. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war he wages, he will win. Oh, I'm not backing down from any giants. I know how this story ends. Yes, I know how this story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil, you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, you turn it for good. Turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil. Turn it for good. Turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a shine upon you. Be gracious to you, Lord. Turn His face toward you and give you peace. Lord bless you and keep you, and may His face shine upon you and be gracious to you, Lord. Turn His face toward you and give you peace. Amen. 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 Lord bless you and keep you. May His face shine upon you. Be gracious to you, Lord. Turn His face toward you and give you peace. Amen. Amen. Amen.
somebody out there right now is listening to this song, and you think that the blessings of God only applies to other people. You think that you're not blessed. You think you've done something wrong. You think that this generational thing doesn't apply to you. It applies to other people because you see it work in their lives, but you don't believe. You don't believe in your heart that it applies to you. You don't believe that God really has blessings for you, that He really, really loves you. You don't believe for 1 second that He's with you in the morning, and you're coming and you're going and you're weeping and rejoicing, and you feel like this morning and whenever you're watching this that you're all alone and that God does not care about you because you're going through a valley right now and you're hurting right now. And you see all these other people and they've got this blessing and they must be doing something right, and that's where you mess up. That's where Satan comes into your life, and that's where Satan tells you that you have done something wrong and that you're not worthy. You hear that? He says you're not worthy of that blessing. And so you let Satan steal that blessing from you. You let him steal your joy. And I'm here to declare to you, this worship team is here to declare to you, and more importantly, God Himself is here to declare to you this morning, or whenever you're listening to this, because I don't really care when you're listening to this, because it's true. It was true in the days of the Bible. It's true today. It'll be true 2,000, 2 million years from now. God loves you, and you're worthy of every blessing that He has for you. You're worthy of everything that He wants to pour out in your life. You just have to open up, and you have to listen to it. You have to accept it. Don't let anybody in this world, don't let any super spiritual religious zealot tell you that you've got to earn it, that you don't know enough, that you're not smart enough, that you haven't done enough in the Word, that you haven't worshiped hard enough. I don't care. God loves you. God loves you more than this world. He sent His Son to die for you. So as you're watching this little tiny screen right now, or you're watching a big television, I don't care where you're at. You stop right now and you say, God, I want that blessing in my life. God, I want everything that you have for me right now. I want you to pour it out on me right now. I want to feel you this morning, God. I want to see you in my life. I want to feel everything that you have for me. And as we sing this, and we're going to sing it again, I want you to sing it for the first time. I want you to sing it like you've never sang it before. I want you to feel it, and I want you to hear God telling you this song. He loves you. He is for you. He is not against you. He loves you. He loves you this morning. There's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that I can do. Nothing anybody on this stage can do that can separate me from the love of God. There's no mistake that you can make. You cannot walk too far from Him that He won't come and find you. I promise you that this morning. So as somebody, I just felt in my spirit that somebody was saying, I can't sing that song. That song is for other people. That song is for you. That song is for you. The blessings of God are for you. You accept those this morning. Don't let Satan steal that.
Amen. rejoicing. He's for you.
Sing this out.
He's for you. 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 You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, rearranging destiny. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working miracles. I worship you, and I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every life. I worship you, and I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. 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 That is who you are.
You guys keep playing. What I'm really feeling this morning is we're up here worshiping the Lord, and we're declaring things, and we sang the blessing a while ago, and James was moved by the Holy Spirit to come out and begin to implore you to believe that for yourself, not just for others. We just sang Waymaker, and a lot of times it's easy for me to sing a song about who God is for somebody else. It's easy for me to believe for your miracle. It's easy for me to believe for your blessing and your abundance and your generational blessings, but it's hard for me to see it and believe it for myself as individuals. And I think, James, you were spot on, because so often we think that we're unworthy, that we've made too many mistakes, we've screwed up too much, we have too many failures. And the scars that Jesus is bearing in heaven right now, it's the only scars in heaven, but it's the scars that Jesus are bearing in heaven right now. They're the scars of all my mistakes and all my failures and all my shortcomings and all my mess-ups. And He's bearing that so we don't have to. I look out historically in the Bible and just with people. And the people that make history are the people that believe it for their life. And they do something about it. as James was singing that, and we began to sing Waymaker and believing it for ourselves, it would have been real easy. Think in the Old Testament for a moment. It would have been real easy for every nation that was not Israel to say, well, that's the God of Israel, and He's powerful, and He's awesome, and He does this and He does that, but that's their God. I see so many generational with children and grandchildren, and they talk about the God of their parents or the God of their grandparents. And sometimes they never make that step of claiming it for themselves and believing it for their own lives. And I was thinking about, as we were singing that over there, I was thinking about some Old Testament individuals. I was thinking about Rahab the harlot. And the children of Israel are coming in and about to conquer Jericho and the Promised Land. And she chose to connect herself with these people, and she chose Yahweh as her God. And the cool thing about it was He allowed her to do so. He allowed her to do so. He didn't say, oh, you're not qualified. We know her as Rahab the harlot. But the Word said that her and her whole household was saved. And I think that was not just the salvation from the destruction of Jericho. I believe they came to know Yahweh in covenant, her and her whole family. We see Ruth basically doing the same thing, a Moabite girl. She didn't say, oh, that's for somebody else. She said, that's for me. She didn't say he's for somebody else. She said, he's for me. In the midst of not having anything, it wasn't like she went to something that was super attractive at the moment. Naomi didn't have anything. The men were gone. Everything was gone, Linda. But there was something about Yahweh. Something so attractive about Him that Ruth said, I'm reaching out to Him to be my God. And we all know historically that out of her womb, a few generations down, but out of her womb was David. Out of her womb, several generations on past that, was Jesus. And it started because somebody that was unqualified, somebody that didn't belong, Madeline, they said, I choose him. And I choose these promises for my life. And I choose these blessings for my life. And this is what I'm going to walk in. And God said, I can do something with that. Just thinking in the New Testament, man, we talk about where we're planning on being this morning in Mark 5. And the woman with the issue of blood, unclean. And yet she came up and she said, I believe there's some promises that are locked up in Jesus for me. Calvary's cross hadn't happened. But she had heard of Him, of who He was. And there was something that rose up inside of her. And she said, if I can just touch the hem of His garment, if I can just touch the word that's woven in the border of His garment, if I can just touch that, I believe I'll be healed. And she did, and she was. And a ruler of the synagogue, my daughter's at death, will you come to my house? Because I believe there's promises in you for me and my household. So this morning, I want us to sing that a little bit more. And I want us just to, as we sing it, don't sing it for someone else. Sing it for your life. Sing it for your family. Sing it and declare it over your circumstances. Say, I believe that for me. I believe you're a way maker for me. I believe you're a way maker for Tyler Carter. I believe you're a way maker for Sid Garner. Not for some far off person. Not just for a Bill Johnson or a Damon Thompson or a Stephen Purdy. But for me. For all the Rahabs in the world. For all the Ruths in the world. All the unclean people in the world. There's a song that's wrecking me right now. And it's about a year old. It's a Hillsong song, and the name of it is "You Love Me As I Am." But the biggest power moment in that song to me is when it declares, "Your love is too good to leave me here. Your love's too good to leave me here." So I don't know where you are today. I don't know how unqualified you feel. I don't know how unclean you feel. I don't know how much of a failure you feel like. We may go there in a minute. I don't know if your dreams have been derailed, temporarily put on hold because of whatever, coronavirus or whatever. But there's been a pause. The pause button was hit on the dreams in your life. But His love is too good to leave you there. I'm in a good spot in life right now. The coronavirus has not impacted us. He's kept us beyond it. But even in a good spot, His love is too good to leave me in this spot, because He has better for me yet. Eye has not seen and ear has not heard the things that He has in store for those that love Him and worship Him. You're in relationship with Him. That choose to say, you know what, I take that for my life. I say yes to you for my life. I don't say yes to you for a congregation. I say yes to you for me. And I believe your promises. I believe that you'll go in front of me and behind me. That you are you're not only my future, but you're my present and you're my past. You're all of that for my life. And today I just want to encourage whoever's listening to believe that for your life. Tag on what you're saying. I want you to believe that for your life. I'm about to give you the mic, Nick. In talking about our dreams being interrupted, the Lord spoke a word to me as I was meditating on that this week, and He said that it is impossible for the enemy to kill your dreams. He does not have the power to kill your dreams, Tyler. He does not have the power. He does not have the authority. The Word says Jesus has all authority. He said, all authority is given to me. And if Jesus, I love what Bill Johnson says, if Jesus got it all, guess who ain't got none? He didn't say He didn't have any power. He said He didn't have any authority. But He does not have the authority or the power to kill my dreams, but I do have the capacity to abort my dreams. In that text in Mark 5 and the story of Jairus and the woman with the issue of blood, and after the woman with the issue of blood comes in and she interrupts Jairus' dream of my daughter being healed. I think she was a 12-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl. That dream that Jesus is coming to my house, He said yes, and it got totally interrupted. And we know the story of all this that happens with the woman with the issue of blood, and how Jesus healed her, and she stepped out by faith, and He said, thy faith has made thee whole. And in that moment, the servants came to Jairus and they said, don't bother the master anymore, that your daughter's dead. Your dream died. Your dream just died. And I love what Jesus said. There's some of you here today and listening today, and it might be in 2021 when you listen to this. It might be 2022 when you listen to this. And you feel like your dream died because of circumstances, because of an attack of the enemy, because of whatever. You feel like your dream died. And I love what Jesus said in Mark 5. He looks at Jairus and He said, be not afraid. Just believe. Be not afraid, just believe. And I believe that's a word that the Lord has for us this morning, a word that the Lord has for everybody that's listening, whether it's early May 2020 or it's early May 2021. Just don't be afraid, just believe. Fear not, I think is what he actually said. 4 words. Fear not, just believe. So if it looks like, man, everything got put on hold and there's uncertainty in the future and this just died. And the Lord wants to come in and say, fear not, just believe. Fear not, just believe. Because I am a way maker. I'm a way maker. I make a path where there doesn't look like there is any path. Because I can make walls fall. I can turn seas into highways. I can turn bones into armies. It's what I do. And I do it not just for the few. I do it for the whosoevers. I do it for the whosoevers. For the whosoevers. If you'll just fear not and believe that He is good. His love is too good to leave you here. His love is too good to leave you here.
Inactive belief leads to abortion. Inactive belief leads to abortion. As you started talking about the histories of these people and Jairus and everything, if there is no action with your belief, it will eventually die. Belief is not something that you just have on the inside of you and you believe it at night before you go to bed. It's not just an emotion. There's action to your belief. When that woman reached out and touched the hem of Jesus' garment, that was her active belief. And if you're not actively believing your things, if you are not out and actively believing what God has told you, believing your dreams, that will lead to the path of abortion. Inactive belief, there needs to be action. It may start on the inside of you, but all these people that do great things through history, they do them. It started with something that was internal, but it became an external mirror of the things that they believed. You saw their belief. You physically saw the belief. And when Jesus said, fear not, just believe, Jairus still had to make a way to his home. He still had to clear people out. He still had to let Jesus in the room. He actively had to do that. And so if you're this morning or whatever, you need to actively believe those things. You need to physically move in a way that is showing action that is representative of the thing that's inside of you. And so if you're inactive, that's going to lead to abortion.
You know what I used to do? I used to, and the Lord showed me now that it was actually operating and living out of fear. And I've never considered myself a fearful person at all. I'm not. We're just kind of out there and what happens, it happens and all this stuff, you know. I'm sick of coronavirus right now. I'm sick of everything that comes with it, you know, and I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, man, I'm doing life. I'm done with it. I'm doing life. I'm not saying I'm not going to hug Nick White when I come in and sing in worship. You know, you do you boo, but I'm me. But what I used to do, and the Lord just showed me that it was operating out of fear because I didn't see it that way. But what I used to do was I would hold on to something so as not to lose it. If it was revival in the church, it would be like, how can we keep from losing it? How can we keep from losing it? If it was relationships, how can I keep from losing it? Let me kind of circle the wagons. Let me hold on to it because I don't want to lose this thing. A place in life. You know, I'm in a good place. How do I hold on that not lose it? And that whole not lose it mindset is operating out of fear. And in that, you will ultimately lose all of those things. Faith's the same way, just what you were saying. And that we will ultimately lose all of it. Now my mindset has so shifted in the last few years. But it's really, it's ramping up and it's being amplified right now, even right now. It's not, how do I not lose it? It's how do I grow it? And you grow it by doing exactly what you just said, man. I'm reaching out in faith. And I'm stepping out there. And I know my name is Rahab. And I know I look like a prostitute. Everybody that sees me walk through says, I saw so-and-so. Some of them guys are like, I slept with her last week. I said, no, you slept with the old person last week. It's like the woman taken in the act of adultery. St. Lotini, the woman at the well, became this powerhouse of faith. It's all because there was somebody that died and somebody that was resurrected. And they said, I'm going to walk by faith and I'm going to live by faith and I'm going to believe it for my life. And y'all can keep doing this if you want to. I don't care. You can keep saying, they may say, he's tripping on himself. I'm going to choose to be a kingdom man, and I want every one of you to choose. Say, I'm going to be a kingdom man. I'm going to be a kingdom woman, and I'm going to passionately chase after God, and I'm going to pursue Jesus, and I'm going to allow Holy Spirit. Here's the crazy thing about it, guys, is He has given you an open invitation and said, this is what I want. This is my desire for you. I want your whole heart. Who me? Yes, you, Rahab. Yes, you, Ruth. See, I'm going to get you in the lineage of Jesus. Out of your loins is going to come the Messiah. We think that we're not worthy. We think we're not qualified. I want to tell you something. Some of you that are listening to this today, there's greatness locked up in you. There's kingdom greatness locked up in you. There's creativity locked up inside of you. There are worship songs locked up inside of you that have yet to be released. The sound is yet to be released. I was listening to an interview with Joel Houston the other day, and he says, man, we're still just, we were just a youth band. We just wanted to worship Jesus. They hit a point about 1.5 years, 2 years ago where they're like, man, he's not just burnt out. He said, kind of like, why are we doing this? He said, you know what, I had to go back to being just a youth kid that's worshiping. I'm 40 years old now, but I had to go back to being a youth kid that's worshiping. And the last project they did was wow. Because they went back to the heart of no matter what anybody said. And I believe there's stuff that's locked up in people that are listening to this today. And your yes is what's going to start the release of it. The way that you respond to dreams being interrupted is going to be determined how those dreams play out. You know why David wasn't king yet when he was in the caves of Adullam? Because God was making the man. The dream was intact. God was making the man. Joseph spent 13, 14 years in captivity while he was in Egypt. Before he sat in a seat of authority and power, the second guy over all of the world, saved the world from famine, saved his family from famine. And you know what God was doing in those 13, 14 years? Waymaker. You're like, man, God, you forgot about me. No, I didn't. I'm making the man right now. Because the boy that you are right now is not ready to sit on the throne of Egypt, to ride around in the king's chariot. But I'm going to make that man. So, the pause in your dream right now, I love what Joseph told his brothers. He said, what you meant for evil, God turned it into good. God said, I'm making the man. I'm making the man. So I really believe there's stuff locked up in people that are listening to this. And And God wants to, your yes and your faith in action will activate that. It will cause it to begin to grow. So I want us just to sing through this one more time. And I don't know what this sounds like on podcast, to be honest with you. Doesn't really matter to me. But we want to be a people that say yes, and we want to encourage all of you guys to be a people that says yes. I'm claiming the Waymaker for my own. And I'm declaring the Waymaker over your life. It's easy for me to declare the Waymaker over her life because I love her and I'm in a relationship with her and her family. And to everybody that's out there, by faith, I'm declaring Waymaker over you. I don't care. I don't care if you're strung out on drugs right now. I'm declaring Waymaker over you. I don't care if you're a prostitute. You did 5 tricks last night. I'm declaring Waymaker over you. I don't care if you're an alcoholic right now. I'm declaring Waymaker over you. Waymaker over you. I don't care how socially dysfunctional you feel like you are. I'm declaring Waymaker over you. I'm declaring it over every potential entrepreneur out there. Over every creative person that's out there. They don't see themselves as creative. God says, you're made in my image. He said, I'm going to start birthing stuff in you. Start birthing stuff in your imagination, in your mind. So man, let's just sing that. Let's declare that, all right? Amen. Go ahead. Take a second.
You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are
before it ever manifests, it's already there and it's already real.
Yes.
It was already a thought in his mind. You have to come into a place of faith and believe what he thinks about you. Because he will think something about you, then he will speak it, and then it'll manifest. And we cannot get past the thing that our failures and our faults and our mistakes cause him to think bad things about us. But he said, I know my thoughts towards you. They're thoughts of blessing, they're thoughts of hope, they're thoughts of love, they're thoughts of relationship. Noah and Madeline came out and we were gone for about 5 days up to the mountains to quarantine on the Watauga River fly fishing. Good place to quarantine. No coronavirus in the sulfur hatch. And I told Lori, I said, I'm going to see if Noah and Madeline want to come and take care of our llamas and horses and all of that stuff. And I said, I think they'll enjoy it. And I want to bless them. I want to bless them good for doing it. See, before I even mentioned it to James, or before I even mentioned it to Madeline and Noah, the thought was in my heart that I want to bless y'all. Y'all were surprised when I gave you as much money as I did. Now I was like, oh, really? You know what I did with my fly fishing guide? I mean, they've been hit pretty good with coronavirus. I tipped him twice. I usually am a generous tipper to him anyway. I tipped him twice as much as I usually tip him. And my point on that is not my generosity. My point on that is that it was a thought in my mind before it ever became something that was spoken. It was a thought in my mind before I even said to Lori, this is what I want to do for Madeline and Noah. You hear what I'm saying? It was a thought in my mind of blessing. A thought in my mind concerning Matt Champion, my fishing guide. I've been using him for 11 years, and it was a thought in my mind. I went with the intentionality, with the money in my pocket, and said, this is for him. But it started with a thought. And what you need to understand today is his thoughts towards you. That's what you need to understand. It's his thoughts. So it started with a thought. Usually when the Lord gives me a word, it's about a year before the manifestation happens. I'm serious. He'll come to me and he'll say, you're in breakthrough, said Garner. And I'm like, all right, Lord, thank you. It don't feel like it. It don't look like it. But you've already said it, so I believe it's going to happen. About a year later, you know what? Breakthrough happens. It's like, every year he starts giving me words. Usually they're a year in advance. But here's the thing. Before he even gave me the word, he had the thought in his heart. That's what is awesome to me, is that the God of the universe has those thoughts in his heart concerning me. He has those thoughts in his heart concerning Scott Watkins, concerning everybody that's out there that's watching and listening today. So I want you to latch on to that. I want you he is worthy of our trust. He's worthy of our trust. And Jesus is enough. One thing I've discovered in all this, he's enough. He's enough to make everything happen. He spoke all this into existence. He's enough to make everything happen. I just want to leave y'all that. I want to bless y'all with that. So, God bless you. We love y'all. We'll see you next week. We're about to worship a little bit more. I don't know if they're going to cut it off, but we're about to worship just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and let's hit Good Grace. Nick, if you'll jump over there behind that cage, and or we may be doing it. If we're not, they'll get that version. And so, man, let's just come in and let's be free and let's worship our brains out. Let's worship our brains out. Because Jesus is enough. He's enough. His grace is enough. His mercy's enough. His love is enough. His thoughts are enough. So man, let's just come in. Let's go hard and engage him in this. All right.
Come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood is one. Children of generations, of every nation, of kingdom come. Don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up, I don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. Take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath.